Welcome to Scale With Us, the podcast for business owners navigating the absolute chaos of scaling a business and juggling all that life throws at you along the way.
Each week, we'll be talking about our wins and fails and everything in between because, let's be real, it's not all smooth scaling.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get into it. On today's episode of Scale With Us, we are going to be talking about managing your time like a CEO. But before we dive into that, hey Jess, how are you doing?
Good. What are you thinking? What are you drinking?
I'm thinking like how much it feels like there is no time in the day quite often.
Yeah. So how are you managing it?
I don't know. Help. Yeah. No, gosh, it's definitely, we're kind of like the middle of the term and it's just hard to juggle everything. And so honestly, I feel like most days, like there are not enough hours in the day. But what we'll be talking about today is really around, okay, what are we doing to make the most out of the hours we do have?
Yeah.
Because what do they say? Everyone has the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce.
Yeah, but she's got help. I'm telling you, she would have to have some help.
Yeah, I don't think she's doing her grocery shopping and making sure that the kids have all their shit for school. I'm pretty sure there's helpers for that.
For sure.
So we just need to get to Beyonce level of wealth and it's fine.
We'll be fine. Until then,
back to the drawing board. We'll talk about just some regular old Joe stuff that you can do. But I think it's also stuff that you can easily implement today, which will be good.
Yeah.
I've really tried to make sure that there's some stuff that you can take away and run with. But we've got our giant Stanleys.
Full of water. We're just hydrating.
We've decided
nothing exciting.
Well, do you know what I was reading actually on that? Is that most of us are actually chronically dehydrated a lot of the time.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, because you know how everyone says we're supposed to drink 2 or 3 litres of water a day? It's actually, if we don't even drink the 2 litres, we are actually dehydrated.
Yeah.
And when we're dehydrated, we are more stressed, we're more tired, like we can't think as clearly. So how we spend our time might be just as important as how hydrated we are. How many of those are you getting through a day?
2.
Yeah, like it's hard.
Should be a lot more. That's going to leak.
Pause.
Stanleys.
We've had a I knew that was going to happen sitting there. That's okay. For those of you who can't see us, I just spilt my giant Stanley everywhere. That's actually the only problem with them, I find. I do drinking out of them more with a straw. I don't know if anyone else gets a bit like this. Like the straw that I drink out of makes a difference to how much water I drink.
Yeah, because it's quite open and it lets a lot in there.
So much water comes through that straw. But the problem is that has fallen over in my bag, on my laptop, on the floor, in my car. So that has also then zapped up more of my time. And that's those days when you're rushing and everything just seems to go more and more wrong. That was this morning. It was like I was already running late and then you rush and you knock something over and then water goes everywhere. And like, shit, now I have to clean that up as well. But it's because you're rushing that things are going wrong. Yeah. Do you ever have those days?
Oh, every day.
Every day.
Yeah. No, but we both, had shockers. Let's not go into it. But
I'm sure many people can relate.
Yeah.
Many people can relate. But let's talk about then managing time, because I think firstly, a lot of us can feel like we're just in that reactive mode all the time and we're just juggling all the balls.
Yeah.
Business, family, I don't know, drinking enough water, all the things we have to do, right? We can feel like we're stuck in that reactive mode a lot of the time. But I think what we really wanted to talk about is that we actually have control over our time. Yeah. Not every day is going to be perfect, but there are things that we can do to stay more productive, more efficient, and more in control. And I think that was always a really important realization in my mindset to go, okay, I actually have control of this. I'm not the victim of all these things happening to me. There are things that I can do to better manage my time. So I suppose if you think about the topic, which is how to manage your time like a CEO, like what does that mean to you?
Working on the higher level business things, the technical term. Yeah. Just I've literally had to delegate so much out of my day. We were discussing what we were going to talk about today, and I pretty much just said I literally have delegated everything in my day because I would rather go in and do the 90% approval of 100 things than actually me physically do 3 things.
But what does that allow you to do then?
The way that I've structured my days is like anything that only I can do, this podcast, for example.
So like the higher level tasks.
The higher level strategic things.
Yeah.
Everything else gets delegated.
But what impact does that have on your business?
huge growth. Yeah, huge growth, huge time freedom if I want it. Like I could decide not to grow the business and just keep coasting along if I wanted to, but I'm actively wanting to grow the business. So it's freed me up to do those things, more networking events, more sponsorships if I want to travel to another state and sponsor an event, spend time with my accountant. How am I going to keep growing the business? What have I got to do? What's the next hire in the business?
So for you, like managing the time and especially specifically the delegation part of it, like that allows you to focus on the growth activities, the higher impact stuff in the business versus getting dragged into the day-to-day, the nitty-gritty, trying to like do it all for yourself.
I used to in the morning log on and sit in my emails and just use that as my to-do list. And that's doing tasks or actioning items, but it wasn't growing the business.
I can still slip back into that sometimes, like accidentally.
It's so easy to do. Yeah.
Because there's just this sense of I just want to get on top of my inbox. I don't know.
There's that instant gratification of you've achieved something. You've answered a client, you've done something.
Yeah.
But it's not, there might be a few
moving
things.
The business
forward. There might be a couple of things in there that are that higher level stuff, but 9 times out of 10, it's just all bullshit, really. Someone else can do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in their business think, oh, but only I can do that. No.
And again, like with the inbox, I think I'm still practicing with that. Like I'm still learning that. I'm really going through there's like evolution stages at the moment. I'm like literally going through those thought processes each day. I'm like, I feel like I need to do this and only I can do it. But really, realistically, I can be offloading more.
Yeah.
So do you think then, so managing your time, do you think the biggest component for you is the delegation piece?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a team, delegate, go in and approve. And it's not always going to be right. And there was when I was going through that evolution of not having the inbox full of things, I had Sheila come on board and it was such a learning curve because I had to say to her, I want you to action everything. Like you need to be me. And she quickly understood what I like, what I don't like, what works, what doesn't. And then now she just actions things. I don't even know about them. She'll come to me if there's a bigger problem or something she's not sure how to handle. And you've got to have trust in that you've got the right person in that role.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's in my head. I'm like, how do you have trust that person's going to do things the way that you want them to be done or to the level or quality that you would?
I think you've just got to accept that people aren't always going to handle things the way that you want them handled. But if it's genuine, it's comes from a place of good and they actually, and that's why you've got to bring the right team on and you've got to share with them your goals and values and what the business stands for. And I've always said to my team, there's nothing we can't fix without an apology, a refund, letting someone out of the contract if it's this.
I think I stress too much about
an apology and a refund and genuinely saying, I'm really sorry that this has happened.
It's the wrong
How are we going to fix it? And people go, okay, like they've got team too. They know that shit happens, but you've got to have trust in that person and you've got to think, what's the best thing for you and the business?
Yeah.
Doing every single little thing.
No. And it's like one of the phrases that I heard a while back that really, when sometimes you hear those things that smack you in the face. Yeah. There's a phrase that said, are you the biggest bottleneck in your business? And I was like, I
heard one the other day and it said the bottleneck's always at the top. And I was like, well, that's so true because it's always the business owner.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And it's that evolution I was talking about in my business. I realized that I'm the blockage of us going further right now. Yeah. Like I could go, oh, the team makes mistakes or this happens or that, but I can't play the victim. I need to go, okay, for my evolution to happen to that next level, like I need to think differently.
Yeah.
And it comes down to delegation. And I think delegation comes into that time matrix. I know like you've spoken about this on your socials and I teach a lot of this in time management training, that the Eisenhower time matrix.
Yeah.
And I always say for business owners that I'm working with, like everything that's on that list, like comes under 4 things. I like to put it into the 4 Ds. It's either got to be done. That's a you, got to be done. That's urgent, important. It's got to be diarised. It's got to have a block of your time allocated in the future. It's got to be delegated to someone else to do, or it's got to be deferred or deleted because it's actually not that important to do.
Totally.
And so it's like running everything on that to-do list through that filter. that's starting to change how I'm looking at that question from before. It's like, do I need to be the one doing it? Because that's in those first two categories. It's either it needs me to do urgently, or I need to look at my calendar in advance for the week. And at the moment, I'm looking forward weeks and weeks going, oh, crap, there is no time. And so this is this evolution of going, wow, there's going to be a lot of stuff that we can't do if I don't either delegate further, potentially bring on more team, or look at different ways that I can let go of things and free up my time, because otherwise we're going to be stuck at this level. And it's that thought process of going, am I okay being stuck at this level, or do I want to push through and do I want to get there? I feel like I'm like bursting out the top of that bottleneck at the moment. But it's hard.
And do you want to grow? Is that the goal?
Oh, yeah. And it's almost, I think we spoke about a couple of episodes ago where I was like really stuck on what I believed I could achieve. And I can really see that next stage now. But I'm really also seeing I can't do it with the existing way that I'm working and the existing team, like not getting rid of my team. Like I need more people in that to be able to go to that next level, because I can't do it all myself. Or if I wanted to do it all myself, I'm going to have to stay at a certain size and a certain income level and all of that type of thing, and be okay with that. And we always talk about that juggle. It's, oh, well, I want to go to that next level, but also I want to have time for my kids and and all the guilt that comes along with that. So it's one of those real, I think we go through these stages, and I always feel like it gets really hard before you break out the other side. And maybe this bottleneck analogy is really good, right? Because it almost feels like you're popping up out of the bottle, and then once we get out, there's going to be a whole new world and probably a whole nother bottle that we're going into.
For sure.
But and I think the delegation thing is a really important part of it in looking at how you run your time. And we've been talking about that in business, but also delegating in other parts of your life as well, to make sure that you can do the things that you need to do. And I think it comes down to priorities as well.
Correct.
And really being discerning around what is the highest and best use of my time, and either is delegating or letting go of those other things, because what other choice do you have if you want to move forwards?
Absolutely.
And so going down to more of then how do we do that? Because I think I know I get stuck on how do I let go, right? It's easier if I do it myself. It's quicker if I do it myself. And this is obviously something that you're dealing with each day with people bringing in team and VAs, and it's how do I let go?
That comes up on
all the time,
like on a potential client call.
So it would be those steps, right? If you need to let go, but you've got that mentality of it's easier if I do it myself. What are the steps that you talk to your clients about?
So for us, what we like to do is talk to that person and talk about what they're doing or what their team is doing. A lot of the people coming to us now know that they need to delegate and have already started with an Australian team.
Know.
But also, what are they doing? Are they doing the lower level things? And that's why they're wanting to bring on a VA. So looking at their time, and you can do the 4Ds, or you can look at if you wrote everything you did in a day or a week or a month on a bit of paper, and you just started highlighting, or you put them in 2 columns.
Like a brain dump.
What is everything that only you can do, or only you can put your approval on, and everything else can go in that other column, and that's what you need to delegate. And that's how you'll grow your business. If you delegate all of that, you've got to go in and approve some things, cool. But then with your free time, how are you growing the business? Are you actually working on the strategic needle-moving things, or are you just sitting in your emails every day? Because that's what a lot of people do.
It's often easier as well. I think sometimes we do the things that are easier because it is harder to do the delegation. It is harder to go and work on those bigger things that maybe are outside of our comfort zone. But I'm like, I think when you're saying that, I'm like, okay, cool. I've got my list and I know what I should delegate. How do I then do that? How do I let go?
I think people get really overwhelmed with that list once they see it, and they're like, okay, I don't know.
Am I going to find time to let go of all of that?
How am I going to actually train someone?
Because it takes time, right?
How am I actually going to train someone on that? And we just say, pick 2 things. Pick 2 things. Go on your computer, record a Loom or a Zoom, step through it, step by step, record yourself talking through it. That is literally it. And if you start saving those Looms, you can also run it through ChatGPT and it can write a stops for you. There's also another program called Scribe. Zoom now, I think the pro
it's even
version
got the AI transcription. Yeah.
So you don't, gone are the days you've got to sit there and write procedure manuals and cut and paste screenshots of things. It is so easy. And when you show someone how to do it or you're telling them about it, you can see it click and go, oh, it's that easy. Yes, you literally wouldn't want to start a VA and give them 100 things to do. And you're not going to be ready to do that either. So just start with 2 things. So much easier for you. And just work down that list. What's the next thing you want to delegate? Record a Loom. Give it to them. What do I like to do? Instead of putting it in ChatGPT and getting the SOPs written, I give the video to a VA and I say, I want you to watch this. I want you to understand it. I want you to write the procedure on what I've shown you. Because if they're watching and writing and doing that, you can then read that and go, okay, you understand. Cool. Like,
shows their level of understanding.
And then you've got that feedback loop of, do you understand this? How did you go with it? I saw it took you an hour. We need to get this down to 30 minutes. Happy for you to keep practicing, but in time, this should take 30 minutes. It's that feedback loop of communication. If they're doing the right thing, that's it. And it doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming 100 list of things. How am I going to outsource it? Start with 2 things. Like it really is that easy. Yeah. And we use WhatsApp or Telegram, and we literally can just send it to them via that or send it via email, chat through a few things, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people see they'll use their Teams or the Microsoft Teams and things just to delegate. I think one of the things I'd add to that as well is on that list, and I don't know if you've said this to me or like where I've got this from. I think maybe it was you said it to me. It's like when people are going through the list is choose the things that are like going to free up the most time or have the most impact first.
Yeah.
Because if you're choosing a thing that's easy to delegate, but it's actually not going to free up huge amounts of my time, then you're going to feel less impact from that. Sure. Whereas if you look at that list and you're like, okay, what am I spending the most time on at the moment?
Yeah. And
choosing those 2 things first. And they might be bigger ones to offload, but then if that frees up 5-10 hours of your week, like that's then a huge impact that you've been able to create just by offloading like the one task.
For sure. We actually she's a client of yours, Casey. She came to us and there was this big data project that no one in the team had time to do. You wouldn't want to pay anyone in your team time to do it.
But it needed to be done.
But it needed to be done, and it was actually going to make the business money in the long run. So by having a project VA come in and do all this data work, it will be making them money in the long run. But she then got a sense of, okay, this is a project that we've been sitting on for such a long time. We've now got a VA to do that. We've delegated that. We don't have to think about it. It's being done. But because of that process of like how she delegated and the impact of that, she'll get full-time VAs. She will. And she'll keep growing her team because she's been able to delegate that one task that has had a big impact.
And I think like for someone like that, she's probably more used to delegating, to like she's got a big team there. So, whether it is VAs or onshore team, sometimes it's looking at, okay, what existing team do I have, whether that's onshore or offshore?
Absolutely.
And who within that existing team could take on those tasks. So I think that audit process is actually quite good to do quarterly or on a regular basis. It's what am I doing that I shouldn't be doing, and who could do that within my existing team, or do I need to now get additional resources? That's where I'm at the moment. Like my existing team are already like at capacity, and there's probably quite a few more things I need to offload, and also some projects that need to be worked on that don't need my time but they need someone to do it that my team doesn't have capacity to do at the moment. So that's that. Do I get another team? I'm looking at, is that another offshore team member? I'm looking at a potential like onshore hire for someone else who can come in and do a high level stuff of what I'm able to do at that coaching consultancy type level. Yeah. Because I'm having to turn away clients at the moment. I'm like, I can't help you for 4 months because I'm just booked up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's a missing opportunity for my business right now.
Yeah.
So I think like delegation's a big part of it. But I think probably good to zoom out on like on a day-to-day basis as well, because there's always a lot to be done.
Always.
Right. Yeah. And so I think that prioritization process is important at a bigger level when you're planning capacity and resources, but it's also like something we need to do on a day-to-day basis. So like on a day-to-day basis, like what do you do to manage your time?
A calendar block. A lot. And I also have a timer on my desk. I forget the name of it.
Pomodoro. I always think it's like pomegranate, but
like
it's
that.
not.
I probably butchered that. But it's a timer and I'll set it for 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes is what I have to get whatever it is, the 10 approvals of whatever. I allow myself only that time to do that. So I know
it doesn't stretch out to
it
an
doesn't
hour.
stretch out. I don't sit there and fluff around in my emails
Procrastinate.
it's like I'm on the clock here. And it's if you play little tricks like that on yourself, it's like
how much can I get done in 20 minutes?
Competitive. I've actually started using it with my daughter. You know, how you put your shoes on for school.
How fast can you do it?
Yeah. Can you do it under 20 seconds? And she's like, all of a sudden it's like a race.
Yeah.
It works so well.
My kids as
but if you do that on yourself, 20 minutes, and then you can go and have a coffee, or you can go and sit in the sun and have a quick scroll on Instagram, come back in another 20 minutes. That's how I look at my calendar, and I've got time blocks. I look at my to-do list. First thing in the morning, now I've started delegating at night. So I jump on my to-do list at night while I'm sitting there watching Survivor with the hubby, and I start messaging the team, and they know at that time of night I don't expect anything to be done. It's for the next day.
That's just you offloading.
I'm offloading. You can go to bed and have a good night's sleep if you know that you've got 10 things delegated to the team. My team jump on really early. They're on at about 6 a.m. their time, sometimes earlier. But they've got their to-do list now, and then I'll check in during the day, or they'll start sending me things that need approval, and I've got certain chunks in my day that I've put aside for approving those things. But I just know because I've delegated it, it's been done the next day, and I can be out meeting a client, having coffee, networking, sitting down.
But it probably depends for each person on what the days look like, because I suppose if you've got more of a blank canvas and a long to-do list, like it's very easy for one task or one thing to like just stretch out, or you procrastinate off doing it. But I think that, and time blocking is actually, teach us in the workshops to do on time management, like it's the number one productivity hack or like tool that's used out of all the different things you can do. Writing a to-do list is great. Prioritizing that is great, but time blocking is going to get you to that next level. Take the to-do list, what's the priorities, like actually blocking out the time, because it keeps you more on track. But I think it also helps prevent the distractions, because it's very easy to, if you're just working through stuff, then a little email pops up and blah, blah, blah. PS, turn off your email notifications. That's a game changer for not getting distracted. Then it's more just you have to stop yourself from getting distracted and going looking at it. I think then if you're clear on what the plan is for the day, then 90% of the time it will go to plan. Whereas if you don't, and you just operate from the inbox or what's coming up, you're going to have that squeaky wheel syndrome, where the squeaky wheel gets the oil first. And it's that saying, like either you run the day or the day is going to run you. So I think for anyone listening, if you're in reactive mode at the moment, I think it's that stop and reset. To-do list is one step. Prioritization, delegation is the next step. But then the things that do need your time, that time blocking concept, like will be a game changer. And it takes some time. And I've got a client who's really didn't doing it at first because she liked having blank space in her calendar. But like now she lives on it and breathes on it.
That's so good.
And like that's what I have to do as well, especially because a lot of my time I have less blank canvas. A lot of my days are client calls, webinars, masterclasses, my mastermind calls. It's all blocked. That's all blocked in. And I'll sometimes have, I've got like a 2-hour gap in the afternoon. If I don't plan what I'm going to do in that gap, it's
doom scroll
sometimes. And sometimes if I've been on calls all day, I am a bit like, I just need to zone out for a minute. But if I don't at the start of the day go, look at my priorities. Okay, maybe there is some stuff pending approvals from my team. I have to go and put socials approvals in at 4:00 when I finish my calls, because otherwise I'll be like, Then I'm like stressed at night going, shit, I haven't done it. And going to bed stressed thinking, my team now can't move on with their task tomorrow because I am the bottleneck. So it's even in that delegation process, making sure there's time for delegating and approving things is important as well.
For sure. You can delegate everything, right? 9 times out of 10 you can delegate everything, but you actually have to think about how you're delegating, making sure that you're not the bottleneck for that person completing the work as well. Because if they've got
my
questions,
team my marketing girl Ina hates me at the moment. We have a piece of email marketing and it's just not quite there, but I don't have the time to fix it.
But seriously,
it's sitting
just
there.
Send the email.
I know, but it's not quite right, and I'm a perfectionist. Okay, I'm going to send it. I'll send it this afternoon. I'll see what happens. Hopefully no one laughs at me. It's actually a good email. She's done a great job. But it's, again, I'm just being an absolute an absolute bottleneck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I need to like, and maybe that's actually then just me going, hey, I maybe just need to spend a bit more time giving her some feedback and giving her some time to be more specific about what exactly it is I want. Because the problem is
Otherwise,
I'm looking at it,
but
I don't know either. I'm looking at it going, it's not quite there, but it's almost like I know I need some time to think about it. And there you go. That's the thing. I haven't put time in for that approval.
Yeah.
So I need to block out half an hour into my diary where it's like, cool, I need to sit down, review the email and almost review it and give some guidance on, okay, here's what I want for the next one's moving forwards to be able to get out of this bottleneck
and
trap
that's the thing,
that
you've got to do that as well, because if you just go in and go, oh, I'll just do it myself and fix it and send it, yes, that is saving time in that moment, but you're not teaching her how to fix it or what you like. She's just thinking, okay, she didn't do a good enough job, I don't know how to fix that moving forward. So
no, she doesn't have any expectations from me. Like, she's like, can we send anything out this week? I'm like, yes, I'm going to get to it. And like, it is a very particularly busy time, and it's like, oh, I'll look at that this evening because I'm in a phase of like, working a lot in the evenings at the moment. But then it's like sometimes I get to the end of the day and bedtime takes a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Instead of my kids going to bed at 7:38, somehow it's 8:30. By the time I then go out, clean the kitchen, do all the things, it's 9 o'clock, and I'm sitting there going, I probably have about 3 more hours of work to do, and I just don't have it in me.
So with that 3 hours of work, is it actually 3 hours of work? Or do you go and create work for yourself to do? Or have you time blocked in this 1 hour I'll be doing this, in this second hour I'll be doing this? Or are you just sitting there like finding things to do?
That's probably, it's for me in my head is I got to catch up on some stuff. It might be doing some of those approvals that have been pending. And sometimes it's then because I look ahead at the next day and I'm fully booked the next day. So this is what I'm talking about, right? Like I'm looking at things that I'm going, I don't have space and time in my diary for the on the business stuff, which needs me right now. So it's like, I've got to look at what's that next solution for a resource in my business so I can free up more of my time. This is part of this scaling process, this journey that we're on, and a journey that I don't proclaim to be an expert at, because that's what we're sharing on this podcast, right? It's like we're going through this live. This is real time drama and challenge. It's like reality TV for business owners. Yeah, that'd be a cool idea. Yeah, follow us around. For the day.
Something else we'll put on our to-do list. Start reality TV show.
It's actually funny. Jess and I are always like coming up with like crazy business ideas. Oh, we should start this and we should start that. Like, let's not.
Yeah, no.
What about like other tools? So you mentioned like as far as like delegation, I think there's probably some other tools that are helpful for people to know about that we're using like day to day. So like I know for me, like voice notes is a way that I can get feedback to my team or explain a task that I want like really quickly, as opposed to even sometimes like we've got these great things like Loom and Zoom, but sometimes for me I'm like, oh, I have to sit down, I got to do the Loom. So like sometimes, especially if I'm on the road or in between things, sending a quick voice note to my team sounds really basic, but can help them understand what I want, and it's faster than me trying to type it out and get it in the right words. Like what else do you find to get stuff out off your desk quicker?
The number one thing for me is Telegram, which is similar to WhatsApp. We like Telegram because you can set up notifications for things. So I've got a whole channel that is client notifications. So when a new client signs up and they've paid their...
So it's like Slack but different? Because we've got Slack.
Yeah. I think Slack can get quite complicated.
I miss stuff on there all the time.
Yeah. Telegram is just like WhatsApp, but it's just a little bit more sophisticated.
Because you've got the channels and things in there.
Yeah. So we've got like a marketing chat, ops chat, recruitment chat.
So people could use Teams and stuff if they've got that as well.
Totally, yeah. But I'm just in there all day delegating. Yeah. And on the way here, I was voice dropping a couple of people to do some things that I'd forgotten to send the night before. So obviously much quicker and easier to do that while driving.
While you're driving,
Yeah, then thinking about it and then going, oh, shit, okay, getting here, parking the car, maybe forgetting to actually send it. So that is my number one delegation tool. Telegram is really good as well. You can have tasks in there. So with like little checkbox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't use that, but it is there.
Because it can get overwhelming. We've got so many tools. We've got like Asana for all our project management and tasks, and then we've got the Slack for the chat and the channels and the notifications, and then...
We've got Trello for some things as well, but I'm trying to just consolidate it all to one thing.
I think we can get...
Google Docs. Oh, my God.
And there's so many things, right? So it's like we can...
But pick one, right? just pick
And that's
one.
your channel for
and
delegating
that's
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when you start delegating, pick something and stick to it, like Trello, like whatever, but have a checklist of I've delegated this. This is when I expect it to be completed by. And the person can go in and update it. I found that really helpful for me. Or the end of day report. That's something that we do in the business. And
I
we
think
say to
that's
our
really helpful.
clients,
So you can see what they've done and where they're stuck as well.
Yeah, because we could be sitting here all day recording a podcast. By the time we're finished, the team might have finished. And it's like, where did everyone get to with their tasks if they haven't sent you things to approve? So my team, especially my marketing VA, she'll send me an end of day report of this is what's still pending.
Yeah.
This is what's completed.
Which makes it easy for you at night. You can just go, I'll just focus on the things that are pending. You know, you can probably just trust that whatever's been done has been done. It's off your plate. You don't need to go and review all of that.
If it's gone from needs approval to approved and gone, then I don't check that because I've given the approval. The things are impending. I'm like, why? What are we waiting on? Is it me? Have you asked me questions I haven't got back to you? And that way at night I can give her those things. She comes in the morning. She's got stuff to get straight on to that day. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what about, like you mentioned before we got on the air today, about like also using ChatGPT? Like how do you use that in relation to time and delegation?
We've got custom GPTs set up. So we've got like a recruitment one, we've got an internal one. It really obviously helps with marketing, especially when you've just started with a team member, whether onshore, offshore. They don't know a lot about your business or your tone of voice. They're going to have an idea. But if you have something like ChatGPT and it already knows you and your brand voice, it's going to be a lot easier for that team member to use that ChatGPT or that custom GPT to be able to write blogs, write content.
So it is a time hack, really.
It's a time hack, 100%.
For onboarding and also for that day-to-day stuff. You're probably then having to do less approval, like less tidying up on approvals because
for sure,
because they're utilizing that as a tool.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go into ChatGPT and ask it a few things. It'll write 30 days worth of content. I'll look over that and I'll go, this is approved. Now turn it into content. So there's less approval time needed of back and forth of captions and things. It's more the graphic design. And that's where we use Trello because it's quite visual. And I'll look at I
do Trello from that visual perspective.
Yeah, it's good. But I've given the idea and the caption and my graphic girl will go and create something and all I've got to do is and Trello's really good because the app is really visual as well. So when sitting on the lounge with hubby, I can bring it up, have a quick look at the graphics, go, yep, approved, done. And it's not that back and forth with, I'm not sure about that caption because I've already done that through ChatGPT. I've read it. I'm happy with it. And that's then when I give it to...
Yeah, I might switch over to something. We're using like Google Sheets for socials approvals at the moment. I just find it's like I can't see the image and so it's just a bit trickier.
I find that using Trello is easier for me, a little bit more painful for my VA.
It's quicker for you to approve.
It's easier for me, And that's what matters.
Yeah. And then I wanted to go back to like before you were saying around like setting the timer and having those focus periods. And I think focus is something, especially when you've been pulled in many different directions and that you've got notifications and all sorts of things popping off all the time, your telegrams going off left and center.
Yeah.
So I suppose like what are some of the hacks that you have to like, stay focused? Because there's like some of those things like whether it's 20 minutes or an hour, like, they need your time and focus. And the more we get distracted and pulled away, like I've done these things in my workshops where it like proves that multitasking is a myth. It's not more productive. It makes everything take longer. But it's so easy in this modern day and age for us to get distracted.
For sure.
So what other hacks do you have? I know we've spoken about Opus, which you don't have because you're on a Samsung. But how do you remove the distractions?
Lately, I've really had to take myself out of my office. So sitting at my desk with my screens and it's all set up and I've got my different screens and they've got different things on them. I just have found it really overwhelming. All my tabs, I leave a lot of tabs open because there's a lot of things. I did see all your tabs before. Yeah.
But I'm getting worse with tabs as well. I used to be like no tab girl and then now I'm like
tab girl.
I'm like, I need to go back to that.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's something I've downloaded or something I've saved or want to look at it later. So I keep the tabs and then I end up with 30,000 tabs. So if I minimize everything, I take my laptop, I'll go to a cafe or I'll go and sit next to the pool. It just puts you in whatever's on that screen. I've got rid of the tabs, obviously. It's like that one thing. different location, different vibes. It just helps me focus.
Yeah.
It has really helped. Yeah. And I find cafes, even it's like the clinking of the glasses and the...
I like working in cafes.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Just that different
I
space.
didn't think I
call it
would.
the third space.
I couldn't do it every day, but if it's somewhere different, yeah, I'm just
kind
really
of in the zone.
Yeah. Like a new co-working space or something. I just find working every day at home.
We work from home. I think that's probably one important thing to mention, because obviously some people listening are going to be in offices, some will work from home. But I think especially when they call the cafe the third space, you can work from the office, work from home, and then the cafe is the third space. Whereas it's like when home is the office and the office is home.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do need to get out and work somewhere else to shift that mindset and focus, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's why I love going on holidays so much. And it's like a working holiday. Work by the pool. Like it gives you and your brain time to just clear everything and really focus on.
Maybe be a bit more creative, because some of the stuff like business growth wise, like you'd need to be in a slightly different headspace than get shit done headspace. It's like sometimes you got to think creatively and strategically. So I think that's definitely a good hack.
Do you have any hacks?
Oh, I love Opus. That just blocks off all of my socials and stuff, which means I can't distract myself, because sometimes I'm the problem. I'll go,
for sure. Me too.
I'm not really like focused on what I'm doing, so I go and look at my phone.
And we know when I'll have 13
reels I'll
from
dog onto
you,
my thing. I'm like, okay, I've got 5 reels from Jess. She's obviously procrastinating right now. I should just get back to work.
Yeah, totally.
But I think other than the Opus, which blocks off the apps and stops the notifications, there's actually like on my phone, like there's the focus modes, and like focus mode also stops the notifications coming through. It also removes all the red dots. So even if I did look at my phone, it's almost, there's nothing interesting happening there. So that definitely helps. And then I think it's just becoming more aware of when I'm procrastinating.
Yeah.
Because if I'm procrastinating, I have to go, okay, why am I procrastinating? It's because I don't really want to do it, or I don't know how to do it, or I don't know, I'm hungry or something, I don't know. Yeah. But I think I used to think, I must be lazy because I'm procrastinating, but there's always a reason why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes now in this conversation today, it's because I'm realizing there's things that I'm working on that I wish I didn't have to be working on this, but it still needs my time because there isn't that other resource to do it. So I think being aware of procrastination and when that's popping up, and making sure I'm conscious of that is probably big on staying focused as well, when there are so many things needing our time and attention. Speaking of all the things needing our time and attention, I think it's probably worth talking about how do you manage the time around the juggle, right? Because we've got the business and all the things that need happening in the business. But obviously you've got kids at school now this year. Like, how do you manage the time overall? And also make sure you're drinking enough water and
all the other stuff.
Yeah, what strategies and tools or hacks have you got that you're using?
I have found, like I said before, the delegating at night, because there's not all the other distractions of Telegram going off and the team asking questions.
There's nothing coming in.
There's nothing coming in. So I have that time to send everything out.
Are you happy working in the evenings though at the moment? Does that feel like work, or does that feel more, I'm just catching up?
It feels productive, which I'm liking. And I will take my laptop on the lounge and we'll watch something and I'll do a few things. There's not many evenings, only if Clint's on night shift. I will physically sit at my computer and smash out a few hours of whatever.
Or if we're having a random Saturday night work session.
Yeah, I love those. But yeah, I find that very productive for me. Yeah, there's nothing coming in. And there can be a lot coming in on Telegram in my business. So it's learning what's important. And sometimes I've got to say to the team, I'm closing this down for the day. If something is really important, contact me on here, or ring me on Telegram, and then I know something's on fire. That's how urgent. But the rest of the stuff, figure it out, or talk amongst yourself. You guys can do this. Sometimes I get too involved. So, yeah, just removing all of that. What else? I think that's my number one at the moment.
Just using that evening quieter time to be the traffic controller at that time versus trying to do it during the day.
Jovi finishes school at 2:30. Like, it just
2:30.
2:30.
What time does she start?
At 9. That's a short day.
That's a short day. We're 9:15 to 3:15.
No,
but we're using we're already before school care, after school care.
Yeah,
like I have to.
Yeah,
and mum does one day, they've got dance another day. Like I'm like, I can't manage my workload in the short hours.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some days I feel like I sit down, answer a few questions, and it's time to pick her
Time
up.
to go.
I'm relying on my parents quite a lot. They're just down the road. They love it. They have nothing else to do. They tell me every day, we'll go and pick her up. And I get the guilt, but we're all collectively working on something
Delegating
here.
the parenting's got to happen as well. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a struggle. But again, I try and look at, I'm calendar blocking that time where they're both at either daycare or school. What am I doing in that time? The rest, I can do on the lounge at night or on my phone. So yeah, it's just time blocking, delegating via Telegram. It's nothing special. A lot of people say,
I don't
I
think it is. I don't think there's a super crazy magical silver bullet. But I think for me as well, it's like bringing those principles into like our personal life as well. So if you go in my calendar, like my days are blocked from 6 a.m. to, or actually like 10 p.m., right? Because it's literally like the morning is blocked out for if I'm going to the gym, right? If that's 6 till 7, and then like it's 7 till 8 or 9, whenever the morning's going to start, depending on what they've got on before school. It's like that's blocked out for school time. Then it's some dum all throughout the day. Then it's the pickup time. It's blocked out. Then I've actually even got, it's 9 p.m. You'll laugh. It says wind down time. It's in my calendar every night from 9 till 10. It's not currently happening at the moment. It's supposed to be my time where it's like tools down. And then that's when I read or do something, because otherwise I'll end up working till 5 minutes before I go to sleep, which is not really great for all health and mindset and that type of thing. But like it's whether it's picking up the kids or dropping it here, or like literally sometimes I'll be like, there's so much I have to get done personally. I'll go, all right, that's when I'm going to go to the shops. That's when I'm going to pop to the mall and get that thing, or that's when I'm going to get my nails done. Everything has to go in that time blocking, because that's what allows me to breathe, right?
Yeah.
And I think,
and know that you've got everything covered.
Yeah. And I think that the biggest thing, coming back to the start, in what does time management like a CEO mean? Like for me, it also, as well as being able to achieve the business goals and focus on growth, right? It's also to allow me to feel less stressed while I'm running and growing a business. Like for me to have time well managed reduces my stress. Yeah. The days where I forget to and I'm running around like a headless chicken, like that's the stress. That's the that's when I'm knocking my water bottles over and cursing and throwing things in the sink.
And I think the topic of today is managing your time like a CEO. If you're
like
truly
a boss.
If you're truly doing that, you need to be looking at your team's time as well, because it's really easy for your team to just continue to do what they've always done. And some things in the business you might not need done anymore, and they're spending a lot of time. So if you can delegate some of the things that you're doing to your team, like if you've gone and looked at your team's time where they're spending all of their time and got rid of the things that they don't need to be doing, especially if you've got onshore team, and delegate those things to a VA, and that's freeing your onshore team. You could delegate more of your higher level strategic stuff to them, and then that's freeing you up even more.
Yeah, but it's even like in what you're saying, whether it's further delegation or does something still need to be done. There was, I can't remember what the task was, but there was something on the end of day report that was coming through from one of my team. Like, I'm like, why are we spending 60 or 90 minutes on that thing? I can't remember what it was, but I was like, hey, just checking, like, why are we doing this? Oh, I thought we needed to do that because that. I'm like, no, like there's an AI summary of it. Just read the AI summary. Don't go. I was watching a meeting or something, and it was like they were spending 60 or 90 minutes watching this meeting, which I think probably at some stage I had said, watch them to learn about the business and But no, there's an AI summary. Like literally just read that. And so that's an hour's up back in the day. Or I've been able to go through that and go, hey, why is that taking so long? Okay, there's a skill gap, there's a knowledge gap, or there's a better, faster way to do it, or there's an automated way now to do it. So I think that's really valuable in what you're saying there, is like knowing what your team is doing. Yeah. But probably the biggest thing is knowing that. And I know like for your VAs, that time tracking thing is very powerful. Yeah. I know I've got a lot of clients who've got onshore team or team in an office, so it's how do I know what they're doing all day?
Yeah. And I find that really funny because a lot of our clients look at that time tracking and they want every hour or minute accounted for, which is great. I totally agree. But they're not doing that for their onshore staff, and they're the ones they're paying $50, $80 an hour for. If you actually looked at their time and looked at what else you could outsource or what else you could automate, it's like how much more time is that going to free up for your team that might not think that's a possibility, might even be hating their job because they've got all these shitty things that they've got to do. you can start giving them some higher
they're just
level
not
things.
productive, or they're not running their time well, or they're spending all day in their inbox. Because that's the thing, we've got like there's a time tracking log, like literally a manual log. And I sometimes if a client says, I don't know what my team's doing, we're not productive and efficient. I'm like, okay, like before we put in any fixes, we need to know where people are spending their time. So we need to get all of your team to go and complete there's probably a piece of tech that can do this now, which you'll tell me in a minute. But like in the olden days, we would get them to literally fill out a spreadsheet or write down like by 15-minute blocks, what were they doing all day. And the interesting thing was that just by doing that, a lot of them started going like, all right, I'm probably spending this 17 coffee breaks in there that don't need to be happening. Or, wow, I'm spending 70% of my day in my inbox. That's starting to already get them thinking, how could I be more productive and efficient? But also then the business owner or me as the consultant and the coach could sit there and go, okay, look, they're going in and out of the office a lot like that. So let's look at the in and out of office time and make sure that's as productive as can be.
Yeah, are they
grouping the like things together?
Absolutely.
Or like, okay, they're spending a lot of time on this task. Do they know that there's a piece of automation in your current software that can do that for you? Or, hey, did you know that there's a bolt-on software that you could get that's $200 a month that's actually going to turn like that piece of AI, like the 360 inspection to us from Inspection Express as an example, right? That a lot of my property management clients have. That's turning 3 or 4 hour ingoings into hour ingoings.
Crazy.
So crazy, right?
Yep.
There's so many like little bits of bolt-ons and tools that can actually just by a couple of extra dollars a month or a week will actually free up a lot of those people's time. But you don't know unless you audit the time. So I'm sure there's tools for this.
For which bit?
Like for time tracking.
Oh, yeah. So we use Hubstaff for...
Would you use that in an office? Or so if let's say if there's a business owner who has an onshore team, is there a software that you know of that a staff member could turn on and it would actually track what they're doing all day?
Yeah, that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's $15 per person. You could probably get a trial for a month or something.
Yeah.
I think like Time Doctor.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
ClickUp. A lot of offices use things like ClickUp. That has a time tracking element. They would have to physically go in and click and stop and start. You'd have to do that with all of them.
Yeah.
But if you didn't want to use any tech, just use your
piece
phone.
Of paper.
Yeah, and a piece of paper. For sure.
I think there's a lot to be learned from doing that.
Yeah.
Like even probably for you and I, like to actually audit our time again. And it's not like a one-time thing. It would be something that you could do periodically.
No. I mean, we're always auditing time, but then we're auditing our software as well, because you can go, oh yeah, for this task I need this little tool, and then it's a $15 thing, and all of a sudden you've got this list of tools. But if you look at that $15, do you actually need it? Yes. That's saving the team 10 hours a month. Okay, it's totally worth it. Yeah. Otherwise we would have needed another person.
Speaking of time,
yeah,
we could talk about time all day.
Is this a good use of our time?
Hopefully it's getting everyone a few time management tips on how to. We were talking about diarising, we're talking about delegating, removing the distractions. Oh, there's more D's. There's another D.
Yeah.
I love like alliteration. There's the big D, distraction. I just made a whole new model. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's, as we go back to the start, it's like remembering that even on those days where it feels like the wheel's falling off, or if you're in a period where it feels like I'm just running around like a headless chicken, I can't catch up, implementing some of these things will help you get back on top. And even as we're talking through this today, I'm going, okay, there's a few things I need to go back and re-implement into how I'm operating day to day.
For sure.
Yeah. We need to practice what we preach.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty good.
Yeah. There's always room for improvement, and I can always slip back into just sit in my emails and what's going on in here, and go into my Telegram chat and try and mess things up a little bit in there, and the team love it. But I think once you do delegate, you've got to really look at then how you're spending that time. Because if you're just going in there and messing things up, you're not growing the business either. You've just delegated a whole lot of stuff, and you're not
you're at risk of freeing up the time and then just micromanaging everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lots to ponder. As we finish up today, I have found my little, the question jar's fallen over.
You're spilling everything.
The question cocktail. I know, what is with me today? I'm spilling the water. Okay, we've got a little question from our question cocktail jar today to finish up on. Oh, it's a good question. Okay, Jessica Watman.
Uh-oh.
This is your life. Do you believe in luck, or do we create our own opportunities?
Oh, a little bit of both, actually.
What do you think?
I think we 100% create our own opportunities. I think we can be very lucky in our family situation, but you can't create how you were brought up or your parents or the sort of upbringing you had. You can be very lucky with the upbringing that you had, but once you're an adult, you need to create your own opportunities. So even if you've had like a shitty upbringing and it wasn't the best, you can decide to stay and ponder and be in that stage forever and not move things forward. Or you can decide to make your own luck and change it and create a better life moving forward. So a little bit of both, but I think when you look at any millionaire or billionaire or successful business owner, that wasn't luck. They did that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when you say no around the opportunities that you're the luck or opportunities that you're born into for some of us. Not me, unfortunately. I was not born into a billionaire family, unfortunately.
No, but I'm very lucky with my parents and my upbringing.
Totally. We're lucky we've got good support around us. For sure. That's definitely.
What about you? What do you think?
I think I agree with what you're saying, but I think it's around we do create our own luck, because I think we've got to take radical responsibility for the wins that we have, but also the failures we have. Like, it's what power do we have to change it? There's always something we can do to change it and change our situation. I think a lot of us feel stuck, especially when you think about moving out of the like traditional 9-to-5 employment model to becoming a business owner, right? Some people go, oh, I could never do that. They're so lucky. But it's not luck. It's a decision. And it's like, cool, I've got to create those. It is an opportunity, but I've got to create the steps. And I suppose it comes down to, are we like manifesting our future? Is it luck that's just happening to us? I don't know. I'm a bit more, I think there's something around the energy that you put out and you attract that back. But again, that comes back to, well, you're in control of your luck. Because I think if you're proactively moving towards the life that you want, more of those positive opportunities will come your way versus sitting there in a negative headspace thinking, oh, I'm stuck. Everything's happening to me. Why me? Poor me. Yeah. Like, probably all you're going to notice is the shit around you, and you're going to probably miss some of the opportunities that someone else is seeing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Good chats for today. Yeah. Thanks for joining me here, Jess.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Same time, same place next week?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll book it in.
We're recording it right after this, but anyway. Thank you so much for joining us again today, listeners. Please be sure to like and subscribe and share this episode with a friend. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.